this computer. Hello, so this is a brand new mini series that I'm adding to my channels. I don't know where you're watching this. It could be YouTube, on the podcast, Instagram, wherever. But wherever you're watching it, please do just leave a comment down below, just #replay or just a hello, and let me know a little bit more about you. So with this series, what I am going to be doing, or my aim, is to bring in people that I've coached and get their input and their point of view about me as a coach and how coaching has helped them. I thought it would be really good because this then can help anyone out there that's kind of on the fence about coaching to see if it can be right for you. So today I have the lovely Michael from The Leap Coaching. Thank you for joining me, Michael.
You're welcome. Good to be here.
Excellent. We've just had a major tech issue. Well, I've had to change wireless routers and everything, so we're running a bit behind, but that doesn't matter. We're all calm now. So, Michael, do you want to tell everyone how you came to know of me as a coach?
So we met on the Ruth Cudsey diploma course, which is, crikey, how many weeks ago now? About 7 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems a lot longer.
I know.
And we've got to know each other very, very well, which is great. And yeah, and it's it's been an amazing time.
So we were actually putting a triad together. So you have like a kind of a triad, and one person coaches, one person is coached, and then you have an observer. So Michael was part of my triad, and I spoke about this. Have you listened to Ruth's podcast? I spoke about it on there. When I got in the room, I was like, oh my God, it's a boy. I have to go and work with a boy now. But it's worked out really well. We love our little triad. So
Yes, we do.
what were your first impressions of me?
I think it was about how the diverse range of stuff that you do, and I think with the whole thing with coaching and meeting other coaches and spending time with other coaches sometimes is about what you don't know and being prepared to almost be vulnerable and the great thing about you is that you were prepared to do that. When we first met, you talked a lot, which is not a bad thing because you talk a lot of sense. So so that's been a really good thing. Yeah, it was the first impression was for me, even though I coached for quite a while, was, oh, blimey, this girl knows so much. So yeah,
Stop it.
and as I've got to know you, sometimes first impressions are right. So yeah, it's been good.
I thought you were going to say first impressions are so wrong.
No, I couldn't say that here.
Yeah, just in private message. So do you want to tell everyone in as much or as little detail as you want what kind of coaching we've been doing? Because we coach within the session, and then we actually meet on the day after. Our little triad meets the day after via Zoom, and we have another go over what we went over in the course the night before, didn't we? So we see each other twice a week.
Yeah. So the diploma course has been really interesting in terms of stripping things right out, back to the basics, working with the GROW model, and we have spent a lot of time in our group looking at how we can get the most out of that and how it works and the techniques that sit behind it, and in terms of subject matter and the things that the kind of coaching that you've been doing is we all bring different subjects to the table, and it's an opportunity really for us to look at things either personally or professionally, to be able to look at how we can develop as people and develop our businesses at the same time.
Yeah, we've worked on it's been quite diverse, hasn't it, from giving up the Kit Kats?
Yes. to writing business plans
and
and
launching new business ideas and everything.
everything in between. Yeah, but it's been fun, and I think the different levels of experience have just has meant that we've been able to dig under subjects. You know, and you use far more tech than me, and for me, that's, you know, you have been a really valuable resource in that respect.
Now we just need to get that podcast launched.
Yeah, podcast will be the first thing, but that's the edge of the cliff for me. That's my next leap.
I love it. So, in your professional opinion,
Yep.
what am I like as a coach?
The thing that I like most about you is the fact that you, for me as a client, you provide a lot of time and a lot of space for me to be able to mull things over, talk about whatever I want to talk about, and you have this great habit of kind of centering on the goal for whether that's a session, or certainly in the session, and about managing how that fits into the bigger picture of, you know, of where stuff is going at, and yeah, and some of that is just asking, and the whole thing about listening coaching is all about listening, really, and then asking the right question, and you only get to ask the right question if you're hearing what the client is saying, and that is something that you're really good at.
Were you referring to the way that when you go off on a ramble when you don't want to answer a question, and I say, now, Michael, in one sentence?
That is probably exactly what I'm referring to. but there is an art to that, and it does all boil down to listening, because, you know, even in the warbling tangents that I do go off on, is occasionally there's stuff in there that makes a bit of sense, that you're able to pull back in to whatever the session goal might be, and on occasion, you know, that's meant that we reframe the session, and because actually the goal that we started out with is probably not the bit that needs to be done on that day.
So I think I find that by coaching coaches, you kind of give the answer that you think we want, and when you go off on those tangents, I think it opens up to you things that you hadn't even thought about, like
Yeah.
where you can tell, and I do it too, when you're coaching me or when Morgan's coaching me, I'll think, right, we've only got 30 minutes, we'll keep this short, I'll just stick to saying this.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you go off on a tangent and you're like, oh damn it, I went there. I went there.
Yeah.
And then it gets picked up by the coach, doesn't it? And we're like, right, okay, yeah, we're gonna explore that in more detail.
And coaching coaches is a really difficult thing, because you know, everybody has that bit of knowledge, and that can be a good or a bad thing depending on what you're looking at.
And especially when we've just got such a short amount of time,
yeah,
the half
agreed.
hour we get to coach each other. But yeah, it's been so much fun. I've loved our little triad, and I am sad. I'm excited to be working with new people, but I am sad that ours has come to an end. I'm just glad we're carrying it on a Thursday.
But it does. The thing is, you know, you refer back to the 30-minute thing, but actually, it does show you what can be achieved in a 30-minute time slot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, you know, it's one of those that, you know, if people are new to coaching or are coaching curious and are not sure whether being a coach and having a coach is the right thing for them, then, you know, those smaller bite-sized chunks might be enough to, or a big enough portion of time, because people are time poor, that just gives them the insight that they need to making the breakthrough for them.
That leads nicely on, actually, to what are the benefits of coaching?
I the real benefit, and something that I used to find really difficult talking about when I first started coaching, was about this this unemotional and unbiased place for a client to come into, where there's no judgment, there's no predetermination over anything that they might bring to the table at that time. And I had that conversation with somebody this morning, and just this very thing where the potential client was talking about how he had all these ideas and things that were going on with him, but he didn't feel comfortable about talking to his family about it or any of his friends about it, because he could almost sense what they were going to do, and and that might be talking him out of stuff and things that he wanted to try. And coaching does just give you this safe space to come into, to talk about whatever it is that's in your mind. And there is a coach out there for everybody that can do something. And one of the things I always talk about is about rapport, and about how important it is to have that rapport with somebody, where as a client you feel confident coming in and having a conversation and unloading really about whatever it is that you want to talk about.
Yeah, because you can, obviously, depending on the subject, but you can get quite deep, can't you? And I think having a coach that you feel that, one, is going to listen to you without that judgment, and two, that you have got the confidence that isn't going to go and then repeat that to anyone else, because obviously confidentiality is a massive part of what we do. But it's finding someone that ticks all those boxes, isn't it?
Yeah, and honesty is a really big thing, because coaching can be really challenging, and I'm always quite upfront with people about that, in that there may be occasions we talk about things that the client might not be comfortable with, whether that's things that are buried away in their past, limiting beliefs, those kind of things. And the more honest you can be, and the more committed that the client is to achieving their goal, then the greater the transformation and the bigger the breakthroughs that they're likely to get. But yeah, honesty is a really, really big thing.
Completely random, but a joke has just sprung into my mind. So how many coaches does it take to change a light bulb?
Well, it should only probably take one, but I imagine that knowing some of the people that we know, we'll probably have a sit around and talk about it first to decide how the light bulb should be extracted.
No, so how many coaches does it take to change a light bulb? One, as long as the light bulb is willing to change or be changed.
Oh, I like that.
Ooh.
I really
See?
like that.
Comedian as well.
I really like that. That can't be a spontaneous thought.
Honestly, it was something that it was a therapist, someone was talking about in a group, from a therapist, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll bank that one. And then when you were speaking, that just popped into my mind. I promise I haven't got it written on notes or anything. So what would you say is the best thing to have come from our coaching sessions together?
Personally, for me, well, I've never operated in a niche, and there are huge pros and cons about that within coaching, about whether you specialize on something, whether you stay a generalist, and I get the argument both ways. And I think the reason why I haven't is because I haven't really hit on anything that I think is specific. I think the broad experience that I've got is enough to help a lot of people in different situations, and life is a biggest teacher that we have. But I think one of the things that has come out of our sessions, and and based on what and the things that you've done, has been this safe space and non-judgmental area, which which we talk about, and the same goes for us as coaches. That there are things that go on with us and things that we want to try and test and soundboard and everything. Is that I have had the opportunity to do that with you, and that has been priceless, really. In that, what you have done is allowed me to challenge my own the limits of my own comfort zone, really. In that there are things that I wanted to try and thought, oh, well, I'm not really quite sure about that, but just this opportunity, within our group, and with Morgan as well, has been a really comfortable space to just explore a lot of different things. And for me, that's made me think about things differently, and helped me to challenge myself to try different things, and that has been brilliant.
Amazing. And yeah, so that's it. I think you answered my last question as well. Well, thank you so much for coming on and being interviewed today. Do you want to tell people where they can find you, so that they can connect?
So you can find me at www.theleapcoaching.com. Email michael@theleapcoaching.com. I'm on Twitter at mhaigh1, MHAIGH1. They're my platforms for now. Who knows where I might
turn up in the LinkedIn.
Future. Oh God!
What's going on?
That's because LinkedIn, it just happens around me. Yes, I am on LinkedIn as Michael Haigh. I'm not there as the Leap Coaching. It is still under me yet. And again, that's something else that I'm playing around with. That. So thanks for the prompt, because I only ever talk about LinkedIn, and then yeah, sure enough, and there you go, spooning me out again.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, and I can't wait till Wednesday. I will speak to you soon.
Awesome. Have a great week. Thanks.
And you. Bye.